Hi everyone, welcome to No Man's Sky Worlds Part 2. It's been many months. I've been waiting for Worlds Part 2. I loved Worlds Part 1. And for Part 2, first things first, I'm playing vanilla. It is not my Chimera testing that I loved to do in the past. It's just vanilla with a reshade. I always use a reshade because I don't love the extreme saturated colors. So I sort of subdue them a bit, sharpen things up a little bit. Anyways, I don't go crazy with reshade, but I do kind of tighten things up and bring them into my preference as far as graphical taste. But my observations of Worlds 2, it sort of shocked me. And I know I'm not some simp, I'm not going to be, it's at the everything update. Oh, they've just blown themselves away. No, I don't know why people say stuff like that. It's a nice sized update. It does a lot right. But here's the thing that I noticed. I don't need to mod the hell out of this game anymore to feel like I'm exploring in No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky for me, and I've been with the game since 1.0, actually before 1.0, which is why I'm always griping about the super formula procedural generation we never got. If we could get that, man, I mean, No Man's Sky would be the greatest space game ever made. If you can just get past the, some people call it cartoony art style. If you can get past that a bit, and with a reshade, I mean, I tone it down a bit, and it looks real enough for me, realistic enough for me. But graphically, and as far as immersion, the audio, the music, the exploration's always been good. But you always knew, stuff. All the planets start to look samey. All the assets, all the plant life and fauna and flora start to look samey. And so in recent years, they've been packing so much crap, so many updates into No Man's Sky, that even though you don't have the super formula, and if you don't know what that is, I'm sorry, go look it up. I think it's GDC. Watch the GDC 2017 or whatever the hell it was, where Hello Games covered what the super formula procedural generation is supposed to be for No Man's Sky. And we never got it, but take a look at it. It would basically make every single world completely different. Every world. Yes, trillions of worlds, different. That's what it would have done. But we never got it. I don't know why. They've never officially said. But moving on. So, normally what I do is I had what I called my Chimera testing. Excuse me. It was basically my modding of the No Man's Sky engine. And I'd basically create my own worlds. I mean, I'd mod the hell out of it and create this fantastic terrain. Terrain was my thing. I hated the terrain post next update. So I was always editing the terrain and come up with these cool worlds. But I mean, in the end, at the end of the day, it was like, okay, cool, but it's neat to see what the engine can do. But I'm just Scott. I'm not a Hello Games developer, so I can't do what I want to do. And it was frustrating and blah. So I'd pick up No Man's Sky, reinstall it once a year, and then I'd play it for 100 hours or something, or anyways. And but I noticed after Worlds Part 1, I was like, I'm really enjoying exploration. And the modding that I did was cut in half. And I noticed that, and I was like, okay, well, that's good. Now I don't know quite what's happening. They must have just packed enough variety in this thing to where I'm starting to like it. There was still kind of I was still kind of So after a few months, I uninstalled No Man's Sky again. Well, now I've reinstalled it for Worlds Part 2. And what I noticed was, now I love my snaky terrain, so I am going to bring that back. I am going to, mod the terrain to where some worlds have snakies, because I love the snake-like terrain from 1.0. But other than that, I found that my modding is really just effing it up. I found that it's making it really weird, but it's more of glitches than, I mean, it's more deformity than anything impressive. And what shocked me about that is that normally in the past, I would come up with this extreme, if you watch some of my past videos on No Man's Sky, extreme terrain, stuff just looks crazy, mountains so high that you're in the clouds, but the clouds kind of clip funny, and although this is what I mean by deformity and glitchy and stuff. You know, the mountains were so high, but they're not supposed to be. The engine couldn't handle it, so it clips through and it looks bad. And, you know, you got mountains that are into the sky, into the clouds, but they just didn't look great. So, you know, my modding did that. Wonderful. Okay. But I noticed one of the first worlds, and it's in my last video. I don't comment in that video, but it's there. The last video, the very first video I made on Worlds Part 2, I was on this mountaintop. And I thought that I was just on an average looking mountain, no big deal. I was exploring around a bit. And I went to the edge and I looked off into the clouds and I thought I saw ocean. So I thought I'd go ahead and just jump off the mountain and go to the ocean. When I jumped off the mountain, what I thought was distant ocean was distant the ground. It was the ground. It was not ocean. And so I free fell for at least 10 seconds. 10 seconds, count them, guys. 1001, 1002, 1003. It might have been 15 seconds. You'll have to watch the video and see. I didn't count it. This was a ginormous mountain that I was on the top. I wasn't even at the top of it, and I fell for 10 to 15 seconds. And that's in the vanilla game. I didn't mod it. So I started thinking, wait a second, mainly what I modded was terrain. We're getting some really now of course with my Chimera modding I did come up with extreme terrain. I mean really jagged mountains that were just some of them are really cool, but I noticed there's a certain cohesion, there's a certain organic cohesion that is present in Worlds Part 2 that it wasn't even totally present in Part 1. And look at this. This is just an ice planet. Usually ice planets are extremely barren and boring and they all look the same. They have a lot more variety now. Still nowhere near what I'd like to have, but who cares? I mean, we have variety in Frozen Worlds. And I don't know. You go around every corner and there's something new. If you look at the nuanced terrain, flora, I mean, we're just focusing on like the environment right now, but fauna's good. But and there's repetition because they don't have the super formula. So there is repetition in assets. No matter what planet you go to, you're going to see some plant or animal that repeats. But there's so much now after what has it been, 9 years of No Man's Sky free updates? They've packed so much in that for the first time ever, I can honestly say I don't need to mod the game more than 10% to be happy. I'm exploring these worlds and I'm happy. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. The new graphics, the new lighting, it's beautiful. And when I'm sitting here running along one of these worlds, knowing that this whole world is mine, not only that, but most of these worlds that I'm finding, no one else has ever seen. I mean, you say that, the assets, and I mean, once you've seen an ice planet, you get the gist of what an ice planet's going to look like. But the point is, you can find planets and claim them, and they're yours. Name them, and you can explore the whole planet. You can deform a lot of it. You can build whatever the hell you want. I mean, that's amazing. No Man's Sky is amazing. And if they do any more world or planet updates, at this point it really is just icing on the cake. Because I am satisfied. That is the point of this video. I'm finally satisfied with exploration of No Man's Sky. The only thing that bothers me at this point, the only thing, I think, let me think for a second. Yes, the only thing is the repeating assets. You always see those stupid floating rocks, the same kind of, I don't know, even those pyramid, rock formations. No matter where you go, really, no matter where you go in the galaxy, they got to have these pyramid rock formation stuff. I mean, if we could just get, I don't know what that is. It's a minor gripe. At this point, it's a minor gripe because of the amount of updates and the amount of additions to the game, the amount of content is just stellar. And now graphically, especially with DLSS 4. If you can do DLSS 4, guys, go ahead and do it. Use that NVIDIA app and, go into your graphics setting, override, DLSS override, and do it. Nice stuff. Let me tell you what. The AI is really helping with games these days. Because I think the DLSS 4 is even compatible all the way back to RTX 3. I mean, if you're doing NVIDIA. RTX 3 So you know, if you have like a 3060 or something, you can do DLSS 4. That's impressive. That's good. Anyways, guys, I mean, that's the point of this video. I'm finally satisfied with exploration. The game looks beautiful, even, especially with my reshade. But I mean, to me, anyways. The game looks beautiful. Exploration, I mean, it's satisfying. And I am the pickiest mother. I mean, with my space games, you know. I mean, I've played them all, guys, from X4 to Star Citizen to, you know, Elite Dangerous to you know, I mean, to No Man's Sky, to, you just name it. I look for these games that will let me explore and feel like I'm a captain of a spaceship exploring the universe. And I think the one that does it best, they each have their own, right? Star Citizen, for that realism, you know, that realism is there. You know, Elite Dangerous, the combat model, come on, it's second to none. It's amazing. X4 for its economy, you know, I mean, amazing simulated economy. No Man's Sky, though, pretty much packs it all. It just has it all. And now, with exploration that satisfies me, I'd have to say No Man's Sky is the best, the best space exploration game that I've ever played. I can honestly say that now. Well, anyways, this is just sort of a rant on Worlds Part 2. No Man's Sky, excellent game. If you've never tried it, pick it up. It's probably still on sale on Steam. I don't know. We'll see you guys next time.